Hello, internet! Hoyan versus Holden by LeBron James. And I just felt like Holden sounds like an NBA player's name, but whatever the case is. Today, we're gonna break down what they do since they have just released their PV, their trailer, whatever you call it. And let me tell you, you got some decisions to make, alright? Who do you go for? Before we start, appreciate Etheria for sponsoring today's video. Download the game using my QR code on screen or my link in the description. You support your boy. And we'll jump into the video now. Now, if we just shut our brain down, of course you go for Hoyan. Look at her. Just chef's kiss. But today we'll be breaking down the meta, how the PvP scenario will turn out in my opinion, and based on what I've used Hoyan before, the experience that I have in a previous tournament, I'll share to you why she's insane. And of course we'll break down Holden as well, which is not available before. I think these two are really good characters, but let's just start with Hoyan, right? Conclusion, top tier DPS anywhere. She has high single target damage for even any PvE as shown in her own PV. She's actually a solid counter to speed teams in PvP that are usually like more squishy, and this is a godsend because speed teams are annoying right now, right? That's the meta right now. You outspeed with a really good opener and then the enemy just dies. They have nothing to counter. Everyone's dead. But with Hoyan, you can just revive. And let's just say you don't win anyway. At least you're going to take one character down on the enemy end because you're going to trigger S3 as you die. My third point, she's good in PvP regardless anyway. It doesn't mean you have to play slow to play her. You can use her as anywhere, right? You can legit just pick her and you know at least she will have one ultimate dump on the enemy and the damage she does on that is insane. At least one ult, right? Because if you kill her, she uses an ult. But then if you get to use her S3 again, let's say she takes a turn, you know, via just her own speed, you can use double the ult. And there's not a lot of characters who can tank both Hoyan ults and still be fine. And Hoyan can still continue living if you don't do something about it, right? She has insane single target damage. She has anti-revive as well, which this is a peak in the future. I do believe this will be one of the playstyles people do. It's Beyond Tin, Sanya, and just spam revive at you. It's an annoying team. I used it in the 20. It's very annoying. And Hoyan was annoying for me because she kept destroying me, right? She also has anti-heal on the S1. This will be important down the line where the meta slows down. Currently it's a lot faster. Once it slows down and everyone's using more bruiser and sustained DPS, anti-heal is going to be huge to say counter Tiamat, counter any healers, whatnot, right? So that is Hoyan's general review. Let's just take a look at why she's really good. And on screen here we got two of her skills. The left is a skill 2, the right is skill 3. These two are basically the reason why she's insane. And it's not even like smart, it's just pure raw numbers and it's raw like functional broken OP mechanics, right? On the left side, Disillusion. If you ever die, you heal to like a portion of your HP. It's like over half, and then you do your S3. You also get Fleeting Glance, which is a massive attack boost. You can get 3 of them. That's like what, 120% attack. You're gonna die if you get hit by that S3 when Fleeting Glance is like racking up, right? Not to mention having the heal means the enemy has to like punch her down again after she revives. It's not really that easy to do considering there's also what, 3 more other allies you have to worry about. That in its own is like the most broken part about her kit is the passive, and this passive allows her to be used without caring for the team. Like you can just put in a Hoyan, don't care about whatever, you know Hoyan at least will bring someone down or really get close to, or hey, if you're lucky and the enemy can't deal with you twice in a row once you revive, you can just dump them down twice, like S3 with the passive, S3 again with your own S3, right? Second thing why she's broken, S3, right? Look at the amount of damage it does. 480% damage to a single enemy. Ignores defense as well with HP loss. She loses HP, turning that into ignore defense, and she deals like 500% damage. That's killing anything. Combine that with Fleeting Glance, and her damage is just unfair. Pretty much, if you're just here for the answer, go grab Hoyan, okay? But hey, let's take a look at Holden though. Now, Holden is like a new character. I don't think he was in previous tourneys or beta. I've not tested him, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at his kit and do a very realistic analysis, and hopefully you guys can discuss as well. He's a top tier bruiser, debuffer, despeller. Now when I say top tier, doesn't mean he's like broken. I do think he needs like a specific team to work out, but let me just like continue first. He's a defense scaling character, very strong in the coming meta. In the tournament where we have all the end game stuff, one of the stronger playstyles, there are an aggressive playstyle with someone like Hoyan. There's also a slow playstyle with someone like Rahu, which that Rahu team, insanely annoying. There's also a slower playstyle with Tiamat. You just keep her alive. When she turns, boom, you're dead. Even after the nerf, I think in PvP, if she turns and you have a good team to keep her alive, it's still gonna be quite annoying, and that might be it, the coming meta in the future, right? Once everyone has more access to different things. But one of the stronger defense skills we have currently is Rahu, and not a lot of people have Rahu completely built yet, including his team, because you need healers for him. That is one thing that a lot of people, they have healers, but they're not good enough to just tank out a freaking Kraken freeze into a freaking Marvel debuff and it's just game over, right? But as you go, you get more F-Res, you get more shells that can deal with those debuffs. You can actually see yourself tanking these Marvel Krakens or any debuffers and then clap them back. Holden, I think, can be used in that team for sure. Not to mention, he has a counter attack, which we'll cover later. Second point, he has an AoE D-spell that's 100% if you crit. This gets rid of immunity, gets rid of attack buff, gets rid of someone that can D-spell consistently is Heinrich, and you can buff block as well. Another person that could D-spell buff not that consistently would be the SR Viper, but none of them has 100% chance to make it happen, right? If this is 100%, then you are opening yourself up to a potential 100% chance to D-spell the immunity into a debuffer, right? Third point, has max cooldown increase. One enemy basically cannot use any skill. Now, this is not exactly 100% true, but you can make it work that way, right? If you have a team that's aggressive and Holden takes the turn first, you D-spell like all their buffs, you have your S2, you can easily knock someone back, reset their entire skill cooldown. At that point, that character's dead because you're going to just outspeed them again, have your skill 2 again, continuously hit on that person. Make sure you're healthy with healers, and eventually they'll die to just Holden spamming hits, right? However, there are ways to counter this for sure. One of the ways is just outspeeding Holden. If you used your skill already, then yeah, so what if they reset, right? In the future, there's gonna be a lot of people running Codex of Magic, which is a really good shell. Codex of Magic, the cooldown of the skill cannot be reduced, and this cooldown they're talking about is the potential to make their next skill cost no CD. So when the next skill, once they use it, triggers magic, the next skill does not have CD, cannot be reset either. But still, he's gonna be a really top tier character because of his kit, in my opinion. So skill 1, this is one of the most like stacked skill 1, I would say. So skill 1 is a 3-hit combo, and every time you hit them, you have a chance to decrease defense. This is also kind of similar to Rahu in a sense, where this one can decrease defense. That's how Rahu racks up his damage suddenly very quickly to get that decreased defense and just one-shot stuff, right? Execution though, at the start of the battle, for every 500 defense Holden possesses, increases self counterattack rate by 10%, final damage by 5%. This is also, again, kind of similar to like a damage increase, like how Rahu has it, right? But the fact that you have this counterattack rate increase sounds crazy, right? So if the enemy is fast and they do have a lot of sustain, if they have a lot of AoE as well, then they have to hit Holden. Holden's gonna counter a lot of the times, and they'll just eventually die because I'm hitting you 3 times with a chance each to decrease defense. If you get decreased defense, you're gonna die, right? It's a scary thing. It's quite RNG. The enemy will not like that. Now, based on the stats they showed in the video that I've posted, they have nearly 3,000 defense, and that is a lot of counterattack. I think that's like what? I don't think it went over 3k. 2.5k, that means 50% counterattack rate, 25% final damage increase. That is a lot of chance to counter. Like, you're going to counter like every other hit being targeted towards him. So that's gonna be really annoying for them in a long battle, right? In any case, let's just check out the skill 2 and understand a bit more. Deals damage equals to 80% of his defense, insanely high percentages, right? With a 100% chance to push back the target, 100%, really high, 100% to maximize their skill cooldown. This is insane, right? This is what I mentioned as well. You can open up a playstyle that's fast with Holden. You have a team that can push Holden up or push your whole team up, and then you can just use strike through. Boom, they get completely pushed back. They have skill cooldown reset fully. So most skills have like 4-turn, 5-turn cooldown, right? If you max that and Holden himself with 4-turn cooldown, then you will just outspeed continuously, and then they don't have a skill, basically. They cannot use it. They'll just constantly get reset once 4 turns pass, right? That sounds annoying for sure. Not to mention solid damage. 480% is a lot. Let me tell you something right now. 480% is a lot, but if you don't crit though, it's not gonna be that much. However, since you're playing the long game anyway, if the enemy does not have better sustains than you do, you're gonna just slowly, you know, chuck them down. It is a playstyle that I think will be annoying, right? So that will be for skill 2. Skill 3 here. Hitting 2 hits of damage equals to 180% of defense. It's not that high, right? The multipliers, which is fair. AoE hit. Each hit has 50% chance to dispel 1 buff from enemies and inflict 2 turns attack down, rest down. If the attack lands a crit, the chances to apply these effects are doubled. So the chance to apply these effects is double. I've checked the video. They don't necessarily say which effect is double. Is it 100% chance to land the debuffs or 100% chance to dispel? But even if we assume it's not 100%, 50% chance hitting twice is still a pretty good odds that you're going to dispel buffs, right? That is pretty big. And if it is 100% to dispel as well, it hits twice. So you can technically get rid of 2 buffs. That is a lot to get rid of. Like, maybe if they want a buff stack, they have shield and immunity. Boom, both are gone. That is annoying, right? But this also opens up speedy build, where if you want to control them and bulwark set comes up as a thing, You can dispel them, dispel any bulwark, boom, you still get control, you still get your entire team to go first, and they're dead. Tag down, res down is still insane. Res down, you know it from Marvel, especially when like Hoyan's in the meta and all that. If you can put an attack down on Hoyan, that's one of the rare ways you can keep her in check without having to explode on her, right? If you explode on her, she explodes back on you. But if you just keep putting an attack down on her, that's one way to deal with her. But albeit you let her go too long though, you are still dead, right? Now let's just answer the question, who should you really pull, right? For Hoyan, immediately very strong anywhere. Based on raw numbers and raw strong mechanics, right? You just do a lot of damage. Still strong as meta progresses, even in the future. Because when we had the whole tourney with everyone having endgame builds, Hoyan still picked like every game. One-shotting stuff left and right. A lot of people have trouble dealing with her. So still strong in endgame, it's a worthy investment easily. Self-revive means she's very self-sufficient. She can just survive. And if the enemy kills her at the wrong timing, boom, you win. Priority pull in my opinion. Last point. We got Momentum, Keen Eye, Fury Edge. Fury Edge is like endgame stuff. You might not have that yet. Momentum, I forgot, but it doesn't even matter. Like if you have an early game account, just put on, you know, the normal DPS set that you have and boom, she can work still. You just need crit rate, crit damage, and some attack. That's it. The speed, it's good to have it for sure, right? But as you level up, you're naturally going to get more speed from like, say, your shell. So she is going to have decent speed anyway. Or at the worst, just let her die and then she'll just wake up one-shot stuff, right? So that's how easy it is to like get Hoyan to be valuable for you. Next up, let's talk about Holden though. Who to pull? Should you be considering Holden at all? First of all, if you can pull both, I think both are quite valuable. Prioritize Hoyan though. And for the second one, you know what? Before I say you should pull him, let me just go through these few points. He definitely does the very good gear, but can be very good with those good gear, right? I mean, that's kind of the same for a lot of characters, but especially Holden, because he has a lot of stat dependent skill effects. Like you need 500 defense to get 10 extra counter attack rate. So 2.5k defense in my opinion is the minimum you want to hit to get 50% counter attack rate, right? He needs high crit to guarantee the application on the S3's effect. Now it's not for sure that it's 100% chance to dispel. They don't mention that, or is it just a freaking debuff? But either way, it's still gonna be really good to guarantee the land on even the debuff or the dispel. It's still very good. 100% crit means you can double the chance. It's 50 to 100 is 100% chance. Very valuable. He also needs speed because, well, if you want to have a speedy build, he does need speed. If you don't care for the speedy build, then it's still totally fine. Holden can be the person that just controls one by resetting and then have your team clean things off without dying, right? That's feasible in my opinion. So he does have a lot of potential builds. However, do know this, he is definitely team dependent based on your build. Build him slow. You want a team that can sustain for long. If the enemy's going Hoyan, you better try and lift the Hoyan. If you do, I think you win in the end. Reset the Hoyan constantly, right? If you're using a speed build, you better make sure he's fast enough, number one. You better make sure your team has enough CR push, or, you know, action turn meter push rather, to have your entire team go first, get rid of the debuff, and then your team has to kill from there. So it's dependent on your build. You cannot just act as if he's like a Hoyan, right? Oh, I don't know, not enough damage, slap it Hoyan. At least you know she's gonna do a skill 3 and then one-shot something or get close to one-shotting something. With Holden, you want your whole team to be slower and well-sustained. But here's an example build from the video itself. Now, this build does not have 100% crit rate, and I'm pretty sure there's no shell that can just say, oh, 100% crit rate for free. No, I don't think that exists. You also need some F accuracy as well. I just realized, like, having 0 is a pretty big risk, even for 100% chance to dispel, right? So he does need so much stats. This one's got like some speed, not the slowest. You do have some Bramble set as well, which you can also just not run Bramble and just use his skill 1's ability to counter. That's also available. Run maybe a Bulwark set, right? Run maybe any other set works as well. This one has really high bulk, so you want to pick this specific build with like Linglo at the side, with say Saya at the side to just sustain your entire team, and you can like slowly chuck him down. That's the idea. Not to mention if you want to use him with Rahu as well, and then you have 2 damage dealers that's just like there to wait and then get their damage up, slowly chuck you down. That is such an annoying team in the future, I would say. That is Holden, and that's all for my presentation. Who should you really go for? I actually think prioritize Hoyan. And for Holden, strong for a certain playstyle. Maybe next month you start to see a lot of people going, oh, Bulwark, Hellkid, and everyone's bulky. You get Veronica even with double shield stacks, and you're just trying to like have your entire team survive longer than the enemy. Those teams will start popping up as better sets gets like introduced and be accessible. But that is my opinion on who you should pull. Let me know if you agree. And final note, should you pull Freya? Not needed. Not needed genuinely, in my opinion. Good to have her, right? But not like have to have her to beat anything. There's always a way to beat stuff. Say you already have another buffer, you don't necessarily need her. So yeah, I feel like you want to really prioritize Hoyan. That's my opinion. Hopefully I helped you out, and yeah, worth there restart stuff coming on the channel soon. Subscribe, you hear me? And that'll be all. Take care.